My coworker decided I was her future daughter-in-law. On my birthday, I used a fraction of my allowance to get a $15,000 manicure. When my coworker Linda found out, her face turned dark with rage. $15,000. For fingernails? That kind of wasteful spending will bring you nothing but bad karma. She grabbed my hand so hard it hurt, spittle flying as she ranted. Can those fancy nails put food on the table? You can't even wash dishes properly with them. My son works hard for his money. It's not for you to blow on this nonsense. How will our family survive if you marry into it with these spending habits? I yanked my hand away from her grip. Are you insane? This is my parents' money. What does it have to do with your son or your family? Linda was furious, but I was done with her. I applied for vacation leave and went on a trip. When I returned, my limited edition figurines worth hundreds of thousands had vanished from my desk. And Linda was still deep in her self-appointed role as the evil mother-in-law. Stop looking for them. You're too old for those childish toys. They're a waste of money and space, so I threw them away. Your salary will be deposited directly into my account from now on. If you're going to marry my son, you need to learn to control your spending. I laughed in disbelief and called the police. If she wanted to play house so badly, she could do it from a jail cell. Chapter 1. Yesterday, after my parents threw me a birthday party, I brought some pastries from our family chef to share with my coworkers. Under the office fluorescence, the diamonds and gold flakes on my nails sparkled brilliantly. Linda from accounting wandered over with her thermos, her eyes scanning my desk before locking onto my hands. Sarah, are those new? Thinking it was just office small talk, I answered casually. Yeah, aren't they gorgeous? Her voice suddenly rose sharply. Pretty doesn't pay the bills. Those must have cost a fortune. Tell me how much you spent. Sarah, I'm saying this for your own good. You're young and making money isn't easy. How can you be so extravagant? I know a place that does the same style for $9.99. If you really want your nails done, I'll take you there next time. Think of what you could do with the money you'd save. I forced a polite smile. And explained patiently. Thanks for the suggestion, Linda, but I have a personal nail artist. The materials and technique are exceptional, and I'm happy to pay for quality. It's worth it to me. Worth it? You spent $15,000 on fingernails that last a month? Have you lost your mind? I don't know how she found out the price, but her voice was so loud the entire office fell silent. My expression hardened. This is my personal business. It's my money, and I decide how to spend it. That's none of your concern. Seeing me get angry, Linda laughed awkwardly. Oh honey, I'm just trying to give you some advice as someone who's been there. Why are you getting upset? $15,000 is no small amount. That could be a down payment on a condo, a year's worth of baby formula, or my husband and I could live on that for a year. Wasting money like this now is burning through your future blessings. Aren't you afraid of the karma? I took several deep breaths but couldn't suppress my anger. It's my money. I'll spend it however I want. Even if I bought a gold brick to use as a doorstop, that's my choice. You have no right to lecture me. Chapter 2. Seeing my genuine anger and feeling the stares from our coworkers, she finally shut her mouth and returned to her desk. I went to the break room to wash the pastry box, but Linda followed me in. She closed the door and started her lecture again with that same pained expression. Sarah, there were too many people out there to say this properly, but I'm worried about you. She grabbed my hand under the running water, frowning deeply. Look at this. These gaudy nails, can they cook a meal? Can they do laundry? You can't even wash a simple box without being careful. Is this how a proper woman should be? I pulled my hand away from her painful grip, turned off the faucet, and stared at her coldly. She thought I was listening and became even more animated. I'm not trying to meddle, but think about it. Women eventually need to get married and have children. If you're used to spending like this now, what happens later? My son doesn't grow money on trees. He works hard for every penny, and that money should go toward taking care of his parents and raising children. If you marry into our family with these spending habits, you'll bankrupt us. My husband and I are counting on you kids to support us in our old age. We can't afford this kind of recklessness. After hearing her speech, I was stunned. The anger I'd managed to suppress came rushing back, mixed with the excitement about my upcoming trip with my best friend. I dropped all pretense of workplace courtesy and shouted at her by name. Linda Morrison. Are you mentally ill? Who is your son? Do I even know him? Marry into your family? Is your family made of gold or diamonds? I don't know your son, and even if I were blind, deaf, and brain damaged, even if every man on earth disappeared, I'd become a nun before marrying your son. Stop your delusions. Linda was taken aback by my response. Marriage has always been about parental arrangements. You don't know him now, but you will after the wedding. You just don't understand my son yet. Don't all you young women love men in uniforms? My son looks so handsome in his uniform. Don't worry, I'll arrange for you to get your marriage license soon. Feelings develop over time. Once you meet my son, you'll see how perfect you are for each other. Linda's deranged behavior truly disgusted me. Realizing she was completely beyond reason, I didn't want to waste another word. I pushed past her and headed straight to my desk to grab my leave request form for HR. I was supposed to work at my family's company, but my fiancé Marcus had insisted I join his company, claiming we'd be stronger working together. The result? I'd been here a year, and he'd been abroad for a year. Marcus and I had been promised to each other since childhood, growing up as friendly rivals. Now I seriously wondered if Marcus had deliberately placed me in this department with this crazy woman. I needed a transfer. Immediately. When I submitted my leave request and transfer application, the HR manager approved it instantly. He knew about my relationship with Marcus and wore an obsequious smile. "Miss Sarah, is there a problem with your current department?" I started to complain but thought better of it. Better to just stay away from people like her. No need for further involvement. That evening, after packing my luggage, I checked my phone to find numerous messages. The latest was from Linda. "Tomorrow morning at 9. Don't be late." Her cryptic message left me confused until I remembered the team meeting announcement in the group chat. I assumed she was reminding me not to be late for the meeting. Since I was already on leave, I ignored her. After a 13-hour flight, my phone exploded with notifications the moment I landed. "Sarah Thompson, what is wrong with you? Where are you? I specifically reminded you yesterday. Why didn't you come? What are you doing? Why is your phone off?" Even through the screen, I could feel Linda's fury. Completely bewildered, I thought it was work-related and typed quickly. "I'm on vacation." "What's the issue?" Her response was almost instant. "Didn't we agree yesterday? Today was supposed to be the day we got our marriage license. My son and I waited for hours, and you went on vacation? Do you know today was the perfect date I calculated after staying up all night? Missing today means waiting 3 more years. My son dressed in his work uniform just to meet you, styled his hair perfectly. He looked so handsome, you should see how many people were staring at him." Then I received a photo. After opening it, I immediately regretted it. Chapter 3. The man in the photo was barely 5 feet 5 inches, easily over 250 pounds. His security guard uniform stretched so tight it looked ready to burst. His neck was thick and short, the tie seeming to strangle him. A few strands of hair were desperately combed over his shiny scalp. He grinned at the camera, showing 2 rows of crooked yellow teeth, with a string of saliva visible between them. My friend took one look and nearly gagged. "This is your supposed mother-in-law's son? Her filter must be industrial strength." I take back what I said about him being a tall, handsome pilot. This woman's delusion is off the charts. I can't. I'm going to be sick. Ignoring my friend's teasing, I felt like I'd been bitten by a rabid dog that wouldn't let go. After taking a deep breath, I blocked Linda on everything. A week of pleasant travel temporarily washed away Linda's negativity. On my first day back, still jet-lagged, I almost arrived late. As I hurried from the parking garage to wait for the elevator, a panting male voice called out behind me. "Are you Sarah?" When I turned around, I was shocked. It was like seeing a real-life ogre, but worse. Much worse. So Linda's photo had been filtered after all? He squeezed out a smile. "I've been waiting for you for so many days. Finally found you. Mom says you're going to be my wife, so I'll pick you up and drop you off from work every day." He shuffled closer, trying to hand me paper flowers. The overwhelming body odor and visual assault made me step back. "Stay where you are. I don't know you. Come any closer and I'll call the police." Like his mother, he was completely deaf to reason. "Hee, I know you're shy. Mom said you just talk tough because you think you're not good enough for me, but you actually like me. You're my wife now, so you need to listen to me." His grease-stained hand reached for me just as the elevator doors opened. Seeing the people inside, I rushed in like I'd found salvation. "He's crazy. Call security. Get him out of here." The man nearest the door saw my terror and Linda's son's appearance. Linda's son, faced with so many people, froze in confusion and panic but didn't advance further. I frantically pressed the close button, and as the elevator rose amid his unwilling stare and other shouts, I finally exhaled. Still shaken, I burst into the office looking for Linda, only to be surrounded by coworkers. "Sarah, congratulations. Why didn't you tell us? You really kept this secret." "Don't worry, I'll be there early. I thought young people these days just wanted to play around. I'm impressed you're settling down right after college. Good for you." I was completely lost. "Congratulations? For what?" My colleague Lisa gave me a knowing look and smiled. "Stop pretending, we understand. Young people get shy. But you can't hide this. Linda told us everything." "Linda? Linda Morrison?" At the mention of her name, my temples throbbed with a sense of impending doom. Before I could ask more, congratulations and well wishes poured in from all directions. That's when I noticed the candy on everyone's desks and the handwritten invitations beside them. The crooked handwriting read, "You are cordially invited to attend the wedding reception of my son and Miss Sarah Thompson on the 25th of this month. Signed, Linda Morrison." Chapter 4. My mind exploded with rage. "Sarah, what's wrong? Your face is so red. Are you too excited?" "Excited? I was excited, all right, excited enough to commit murder. Just then, Linda walked in carrying a small bag of candy. She ignored the fury in my eyes and addressed our coworkers loudly. Oh, don't crowd around Sarah. Look how embarrassed she is. It's my fault for being too eager to share the good news with everyone. She reached out to pat my shoulder, but I violently shook her off. My colleagues were startled by my harsh reaction, and the atmosphere became awkward. Linda's expression froze momentarily before she put on a tolerant face. This child has such a temper, still mad at me. She won't even hand out the wedding candy, so I, the mother-in-law, have to do it myself. Please be understanding. At the wedding, I'll make sure. She toasts everyone extra to make up for it. Our coworkers exchanged knowing looks. Watching Linda's smug face, I knew words were useless at this point. Ignoring everyone, I grabbed an invitation to use as evidence for the police. But when my eyes swept across my desk, I froze. The spot where my limited edition figurines had been was empty. I frantically searched drawers and cabinets, nothing. Stop looking. Linda stood several feet away, arms crossed. I threw away all those childish plastic figures. You're too old for such inappropriate things. They're a waste of money and space. You threw them away? My chest heaved with anger, my voice cracking. Those were limited editions, irreplaceable even with money. And she just threw them away. Perhaps my silence had emboldened Linda. She spoke self-righteously, almost proudly. Yes, and you're welcome. Once you're married, you need to focus on what matters: serving your husband, respecting your in-laws, and giving us grandchildren. That's your real job. I thought her self-appointed evil mother-in-law role was already insane enough. But there was no limit to her madness. She stepped forward, her controlling desire even stronger. Oh, I forgot to mention something else. I've already adjusted the payroll. Your salary will go directly to my account from now on. I thought I was hallucinating. As someone in finance, she should know this was illegal. Seeing everyone's incredulous stares, Linda continued her monologue. You don't understand. This girl has expensive habits. 15,000 for nails, constant international travel, buying those useless plastic figures. How could her salary cover all that? Young people don't plan ahead, living on credit, ending up in debt and jumping off buildings. I'm doing this for her own good. Though people disagreed with her methods, hearing about my spending made them hesitate since we'd soon be family. Seeing my silence, Linda grew bolder. As my daughter-in-law, it's only right I manage the money. I'll save it for your future. Don't worry, I won't short you on allowance. As long as you behave and live properly, you'll be taken care of. They say extreme anger brings extreme calm. I pulled out my phone and dialed 3 numbers without unlocking it. The call connected instantly. I put it on speaker. 911, what's your emergency? I looked at Linda's face as it went from smug to ashen, and spoke slowly. I need to report a theft of property worth hundreds of thousands and embezzlement of my salary. Chapter 5. My coworkers were stunned by my actions, whispering among themselves. Linda's eyes filled with grievance as she recovered from the shock. Sarah, how could you call the police? Don't you have a conscience? This is clearly a family matter. You're my future daughter-in-law, and I, as your mother-in-law, am just disciplining you, getting rid of your useless junk, and managing your money for your own good. How is that theft? And those figures couldn't possibly be worth hundreds of thousands. This is a complete injustice. Her voice cracked with tears, echoing through the office as if I were the villain. I've been nothing but good to you, and not only are you ungrateful, but you're taking this to the authorities. Aren't you just humiliating our family? After everything I've done for you, after my son's genuine feelings for you, is this how you repay us? You haven't even married in yet, and you're already trying to intimidate your mother-in-law. I couldn't believe that even after calling the police, she was still lost in her delusions. What was clearly criminal behavior became family matters and mother-in-law discipline in her twisted narrative. Some of the older colleagues showed complex expressions. Lisa, who often played peacemaker, hesitated before carefully advising me. Sarah, Linda's methods might be a bit extreme, but her intentions are good. Mother-in-law and daughter-in-law conflicts are normal. Isn't calling the police too serious? You're about to get married, this won't look good. Maybe just let it go. A usually fair-minded male colleague also frowned. Yeah, we're all coworkers, and you'll be family soon. Why call the police over something small? Linda is your elder. You'll be dealing with each other for a long time. Handle it privately instead of wasting police resources and affecting our workplace. Another woman friendly with Linda chimed in. Listen to me, Sarah. Don't be so stubborn. I know Linda. Her heart's in the right place, just her methods are rough. Calling the police changes everything. You'll all be family and working in the same department. Just apologize to your mother-in-law and let this go. About your salary, have her change the account back to yours. As for the thrown items, let her buy new ones. Listening to these well-meaning but misguided attempts at reconciliation, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. But Linda, seeing so many people defending her, regained her smugness. I let out a cold laugh. Who told you this was a family matter? When did I ever admit I was marrying into Linda's family? What wedding, what invitations, these are all her delusions. Hearing this, everyone looked between Linda and me in shock. But didn't you and Linda's son start dating months ago? Yeah, Linda said her son found a girlfriend who was in the probation period. If it went well, we'd all be invited to the wedding. We guessed it was you, and Linda didn't deny it. Right, we saw Linda in your car many times for work. When we asked, you said it was personal and wouldn't elaborate. Only then did I realize she'd been spreading ambiguous rumors about me for months, laying groundwork for this moment. When I first joined the company as a newcomer, Linda was assigned to train me and had indeed helped a lot. So when she sprained her ankle and asked for rides, I didn't refuse. Since we lived on the same route, she'd wait for me at the roadside in the mornings. At first I thought nothing of it, until her behavior became invasive, lecturing me more than my own mother. Once my probation ended and I didn't need her guidance, I found ways to distance myself. But she kept watching me, and I assumed it was just generational disapproval of young people's lifestyle. I never imagined this level of calculation. I thought she was simply crazy. I didn't realize it was premeditated. At least if she wasn't mentally ill, she couldn't escape legal consequences. Chapter 6. Seeing everyone still defending her, Linda put on a wounded expression. Never mind, don't pressure her. It's my failure as a mother-in-law that she won't listen. I was only trying to help. Since she doesn't appreciate it, so be it. Sarah, don't be angry anymore. Call the police back and cancel the report. I won't interfere in your business anymore. What a strategic retreat. She really wouldn't give up until the very end. I stopped my phone recording and held up the invitation, crucial evidence. Linda Morrison, does this piece of paper prove I'm your daughter-in-law? Can the rumors you've spread replace a marriage certificate? You deliberately threw away my private collection worth hundreds of thousands. That's theft and destruction of property. You used your position to redirect my salary to your personal account. That's not managing my money, that's embezzlement. You spread rumors throughout the company about my supposed marriage to your son, distributed candy, sent invitations, that's defamation and damage to reputation. And your son's verbal and physical harassment in the parking garage could constitute sexual harassment. I clearly stated how each of Linda's and her son's actions violated the law. Each charge hit Linda like a hammer, draining the color from her face. I stepped forward. She instinctively retreated. Linda Morrison, you know exactly what our relationship is. You just admitted to throwing away my figurines, redirecting my salary, and spreading rumors. The office has security cameras recording everything. You think saying it was for my own good makes it okay? I then addressed my coworkers. Everyone, we're all adults here. We should know right from wrong. This was never a family matter or mother-in-law conflict. It's a premeditated crime. Think carefully before you speak up for her again. The police will be taking statements. The colleagues who'd tried to mediate fell silent, afraid of being implicated. The office became deathly quiet except for Linda's muffled sobs on the floor. The police arrived quickly. After understanding the situation, they prepared to take Linda away. But Linda's deranged nature wouldn't surrender easily. After a moment of breakdown, she suddenly looked up, trying to deny everything. Officers, these things can't be evidence. The candy was for myself, it's my freedom to share with whoever I want. The invitation was just for fun. I never said Sarah Thompson would marry my son. They made assumptions. I only said my son and his girlfriend were getting serious, practicing for the real thing. Everyone was stunned by her blatant lies. Linda, seeing hope, continued her tearful defense. Officers, please investigate properly. The office cameras only record video, not audio. They can't prove what was said. I didn't know those figures were valuable, I was just tidying her desk. The salary thing was an honest mistake with the account number. Her previous defenders, now being thrown under the bus, erupted in anger. You're lying. The day before Memorial Day, you brought rice dumplings to share, saying your son had found a girlfriend in our department who was beautiful. Sarah was the only single woman here, who else could it be? Right. You said the girl was perfect except for being young and spending too much, needing discipline. When Sarah got a new designer bag worth 6 figures, you told me the probation period needed extending. Last month when Sarah took 2 sick days, you sighed about her being too weak, worried about childbearing, saying you'd find remedies for her. The colleagues' recollections pieced together Linda's months-long web of lies. You never said Sarah's name directly, but you deliberately led us to that conclusion. And you just called yourself her mother-in-law in front of everyone. We all heard it. Faced with their accusations, Linda kept denying. What evidence is that? The cameras have no audio, you're making things up. She insisted we were all conspiring against her. Who is Sarah Thompson? Just as I was about to speak, a voice interrupted. I turned and smiled. Chapter 7. Security brought in Linda's son. This man keeps causing a disturbance downstairs, demanding to see his wife Sarah Thompson. Which one of you is she? Her son spotted me immediately. Sarah, I finally found you. Come home with me. The people here are mean. They wouldn't let me find you. He completely ignored everyone else, lumbering toward me with his massive frame. I dodged his hands and quickly stood behind the police. Stay back. Don't touch me. The officer blocked him as well. Linda's son, Tom Morrison, stomped his feet anxiously. Why won't you let me through? She's my wife. Move. The officer glanced at Linda and asked sternly. What's your name? I'm Tom Morrison. He answered proudly. I'd learned that Linda's late husband had taken her name, so their son carried her surname. After her husband died, she and her son depended on each other. I could tell Tom had developmental disabilities. I don't know you. Who told you I was your wife? Seeing my calmer demeanor, Tom grinned and tried to approach again, but Linda frantically intervened. Tom. Come here. Her shout made colleagues realize their relationship, their expressions turning complicated. Is this Linda's son? Didn't she say her son was tall and handsome, wearing a uniform to work every day, every girl's dream? How is this? I thought he'd be a soldier or doctor. I don't discriminate against overweight people, but Linda's maternal filter is beyond thick. No wonder she's fantasizing about a daughter-in-law. Her son can't find anyone, so she's morally blackmailing others. The comments made Linda's face cycle through shades of red and white, but she had bigger concerns, urgently calling her son over. Tom looked between me and his mother in confusion. Mom, didn't you tell me to pick up my wife? She's not your wife. Come here now. Tom stared at Linda, bewildered. Mom, you said she was my wife. Why are you saying she's not now? He pulled out his phone, holding it up like a trophy. Look everyone, this is my wife, Sarah Thompson. My photo was his phone wallpaper, clearly taken without my knowledge. You told me to memorize her face, said she was young, pretty, and rich, and would take care of me forever. I came today to take her home. She's mean too, but I'll be good to her. The office exploded. Linda, how dare you deny it when your son confessed everything? She didn't just spread rumors, she took secret photos of Sarah for her son. This is terrifying. Ugh, with her son looking like that, thinking Sarah would marry into their family is pure delusion. Did she secretly photograph us? Too? She kept asking about me when I first joined. No wonder Sarah called the police. I'd go insane too. Linda hadn't expected her son to make my photo his wallpaper and expose her publicly. The officer's sharp gaze swept over her. Linda Morrison, what do you have to say now? No, I didn't. Tom has intellectual disabilities, his words aren't credible. Linda tried to argue, but I pulled out my phone. Chapter 8. Her recorded voice played clearly. This child has such a temper, still mad at me. She won't even hand out the wedding candy, so I, the mother-in-law, have to do it myself. Please be understanding. At the wedding, I'll make sure she toasts everyone extra to make up for it. I threw away all those childish plastic figures. You're too old for such inappropriate things. They're a waste of money and space. Once you're married, you need to focus on what matters: serving your husband, respecting your in-laws, and giving us grandchildren. That's your real job. I've already adjusted the payroll. Your salary will go directly to my account from now on. As my daughter-in-law, it's only right I manage the money. I'll save it for your future. Don't worry, I won't short you on allowance. As long as you behave and live properly, you'll be taken care of. She hadn't expected me to record everything and completely collapsed. Tom, seeing the police preparing to take his mother, desperately tried to stop them. Mom. Mom. Don't take my mom. Wife, Sarah, please save my mom. The farce finally ended amid his cries. Colleagues looked at each other, faces full of shock, fear, and some guilt. Sarah. Lisa wanted to comfort me but didn't know what to say. I let out a long breath and packed my things to leave. No need to transfer departments now. I'd just go back to my family's company. Exhausted, I'd just finished showering at home when the doorbell rang. This was a small apartment my parents bought near the office. Few people visited. I thought it was property management or a delivery, but through the peephole, I saw a travel-worn man. Wasn't he supposed to be abroad? Perfect timing, I had a bone to pick with him. Well, look who's here. I barely opened the door and started speaking when Marcus Hamilton pulled me into his arms. Sarah. We usually bickered whenever we met, but seeing his haggard appearance, I swallowed my sarcastic remarks. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I let you suffer. So he knew. Of course, someone probably reported to him the moment I requested a transfer. Hearing him say that, I did feel wronged. He dragged me from my family's company to Hamilton Corp. Then I went, and he left for abroad, leaving me alone to face two lunatics. Marcus cupped my face. Sarah, I'll make this right. Feeling the coolness of his hands, I pulled him inside. The next day, the police informed us of the outcome. Linda only admitted to spreading rumors. She hadn't thrown away the figurines, they were at her home. As for the salary issue, she insisted she was just scaring me. Since payday hadn't arrived yet, there was no actual harm, so they couldn't charge her. She was only detained for 15 days for causing a disturbance. Of course, Hamilton Corp fired her. In the police mediation room, I'd retrieved my figurines, though many were damaged. This couldn't be resolved with just 15 days of detention. Linda stared in shock at Marcus beside me. She never imagined he was my fiancé. Marcus didn't even look up, speaking coldly. Mr. Davidson, proceed. The lawyer stated our demands, a public apology from Linda and $500,000 in compensation for emotional distress and property damage. Linda nearly fainted. 500,000? She's not hurt, and those figures can't possibly. Additionally, Marcus interrupted Linda directly. Given Tom Morrison's mental incapacity and his actions being largely influenced by your instruction, if you refuse to apologize and compensate, then I can recommend the authorities place him in a more suitable supervised environment, such as a psychiatric facility. Those last 3 words brought Linda to her knees. No, Mr. Hamilton, I was wrong, No, I was wrong. I apologize. Miss Thompson, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have had delusions, shouldn't have lost my mind. I'm not human. Get to the point. Marcus's suddenly raised voice made Linda tremble. I shouldn't have photographed you secretly, shouldn't have spread rumors about you being my daughter-in-law, shouldn't have disciplined you as a mother-in-law. It's all my fault. Please forgive me. Lock me up, make me pay anything, but don't send Tom to a mental hospital. He couldn't handle it. Linda wept bitterly, nothing like her previous arrogance in the office. Tom, seeing his mother like this, also began crying loudly. Marcus looked coldly at Linda kowtowing. On the floor, disgust in his eyes. He gently held my hand, questioning with his eyes. I shook my head. Forget it. No need to go too far. Let her learn her lesson. Marcus stroked my hair. Sarah's too kind. Everything else was handled by lawyer Davidson. Due to the settlement and Linda's agreement to compensate, she was only detained for 15 days. She sold her house and stocks, scraping together the $500,000. I heard she feared the Hamilton family's retaliation and fled the city overnight with her son. I thought we'd never meet again, but a year later, I saw them on the news. They'd returned to their hometown, where Linda, still desperate to find her son a wife, had tricked a young woman and imprisoned her in a basement. Neighbors discovered and reported it. Linda was arrested and sentenced to 10 years. With no one to care for him, Tom lived like a homeless person. One stormy night, he ran out looking for Linda and was killed by a car. When Linda learned this in prison, she died of a heart attack. I put down my phone, feeling a mix of emotions. Their ending was simply the harvest of seeds they'd sown themselves. The end.